Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Millennium TV News. This is Rofi Pramanik with top stories. Trump signs order to bar some refugees, signals prioritizing Syrian Christians. Washington state to block Trump immigration order. White House defends Bannon to be part of National Security Council. Duterte threatens to scrap U.S. defense treaty. Jordan's Abdullah visits Pentagon amid Trump's refugee ban. Iraqi family's dream to go to the United States is dashed. Those are the headlines, now the details. President-elect Donald Trump on Friday signed an executive order that will limit immigration and refugees from some Muslim-majority countries, and separately said he wanted the United States to give priority to Syrian Christians fleeing the civil war there. This is the protection of the nation from foreign terrorists entry. U.S. President Donald Trump fulfilling another campaign pledge with the latest in a torrent of executive orders, launching what he calls extreme vetting for anyone coming to the United States in a bid to fight terrorism. U.S. President Donald Trump saying, "I'm establishing new vetting measures to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of the United States of America." The state of Washington will challenge the United States President Donald Trump's executive order banning immigration from some Muslim-majority states in federal court, the state's Attorney General Bob Ferguson said on Monday. Washington has become the first state to challenge President Donald Trump's executive actions on immigration. Bob Ferguson, Washington State Attorney General, saying, "We are here today to announce that I'm filing a lawsuit today in federal court against President Trump, the Federal Department of Homeland Security and high-ranking Trump administration's officials." This after Trump signed orders on Friday ban Syrian refugees indefinitely, to ban citizens from 7 Middle East and African nations for 90 days, and to put a 120-day hold on allowing refugees into the country. White House says President Trump is being transparent about chief strategist Steve Bannon being part of the NSC, adding that former President Obama's political advisor David Axelrod attended those meetings. President Donald Trump has been criticized for adding chief strategist Steve Bannon to the National Security Council as part of the reorganization. White House spokesman Sean Spicer defended Trump's move, saying the president was being transparent. He also said political advisor to former President Barack Obama, David Axelrod, had attended NSC meetings. On CBS Face the Nation, Republican Senator John McCain said he was worried about the addition of Bannon to the NSC, saying this was a radical departure from any National Security Council in history. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte accuses the United States of building permanent armed depots in his country, putting it at risk, and threatens to tear up a security treaty between them.
Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte accusing the United States of putting Asian stability at risk. The Pentagon just okayed new warehouses and barracks under a shared defense treaty. But Duterte says the Trump administration's bringing weapons, possibly nuclear weapons, into his country to store permanently.
They are unloading arms in the Philippines now. I am serving notice to the armed forces of the United States. Do not do it. I will not allow it.
The president says he'll tear up the treaty if that story's true. As Reuters' Martin Petty reports, it violates the country's mutual defense pact.
We're not sure what information he's basing this on, but we know the US has, as part of its treaties, some rotational troop activities, some exercises, humanitarian and disaster response. So these accusations about building up an arsenal, they're quite serious.
Duterte's levied that threat of a breakup many times before, and then pledging to honor the defense agreement, making things awkward between Washington and one of its most crucial Asian allies in the face of a rising China.
He has a grudge, that's no secret. He hates having US troops in the Philippines. He's worried about America provoking China and the Philippines being dragged into that. That's ironic because historically the Philippines has always welcomed US support, in part because of China's assertiveness in the South China Sea.
On the other hand, Duterte's cozied up to Beijing rather than confronting it, especially on the issue of the disputed South China Sea, and says an American arsenal would simply paint a target for Chinese missiles on Philippines soil.
United States Defense Secretary James Mattis welcomes Jordan's King Abdullah to the Pentagon days after U.S. President Donald Trump's immigration ban. U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis welcomed Jordan's King Abdullah to Pentagon on Monday. The visit comes just days after U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order banning immigration from 7 Muslim-majority countries. It also temporarily halted the entry of refugees. King Abdullah is the first Arab leader to hold talks with U.S. President Donald Trump's new administration. After President Trump's travel ban took effect, an Iraqi family of 4 was blocked from entering the U.S. and returned to Iraq. An Iraqi family of 4 said their dreams of emigrating to the United States were dashed after they were blocked from entering America, as new President Donald Trump's ban on Muslims in some countries takes effect. Fuad Suleiman, his wife and 2 daughters, aged 10 and 17, and a son aged 19, said they spent 2 years obtaining U.S. visas and had packed up their lives ahead of moving to America, but said they were turned back to Iraq when they attempted to board a connecting flight to America from Cairo. Mr. Suleiman, 52, compared Trump's executive order, which was signed on Friday, to suspend the entry of people from Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria and Yemen for at least 90 days to the politics of Saddam Hussein. In a joint news conference at the White House with British Prime Minister Theresa May, United States President Donald Trump says he thinks Brexit will be wonderful for the UK. US President Donald Trump says he believes Brexit will be a wonderful thing for the UK. Speaking at a news conference with British Prime Minister Theresa May, Trump said, "In the end, it will be a tremendous asset, not a tremendous liability." Online literature is exploding in China, with some authors making millions of dollars in royalties after their work is picked up and made into TV shows, films and games.
It's a Chinese cultural phenomenon. Young writers making millions of dollars for their work, but you won't find a word of theirs on the shelves before they've made their names online. This celebration has been dubbed the Oscars for online literature. China's best-selling internet writers are here, some of their earnings up there with well-paid traditional Western authors.
I'm in Italy at the Chinese Original Literature Billboard Awards in Shanghai, which recognize the best works of the year in a booming industry worth an estimated $1.3 billion. And it's about more than just reading. A lot of the works created by the writers here have been made into movies, TV dramas, and video games. Last year, an online book-turned-movie was reportedly the 8th top-grossing film in China, beating Kung Fu Panda, The Jungle Book, and Star Wars. Now, a major company fueling the trend has a very clear goal: to become the equivalent of Marvel in China. China Reading, owned by internet giant Tencent, says it has 4 million contributing writers with over 30 million active monthly readers. But CEO Wu Wenhui's got his eyes on an even bigger market.
We're going to work with game developers and movie studios to create popular icons like Superman or Spider-Man from our works. We want to take Chinese culture global.
Liu Wei, who writes under the name Blood Red, agrees.
Many of our fantasy books have the same structure as Western things like Dungeons and Dragons, but our stories are more interesting. I think foreigners would like our work.
Liu started writing in 2003 after losing his job at a software company. Within 1 year, he was a millionaire. Since then, he's written an average of 10,000 words a day, and it's paid off. His works have been turned into several mobile games. And with movie rights now on the horizon, Liu says the future is looking even brighter.
Responding to search committee's invitation, ruling Awami League on Tuesday submitted names of 5 individuals for the Election Commission. The party's office secretary, Abdusubhan Golab, went to the Cabinet Division in Secretariat at about 12:45 p.m. for submitting the names. I have submitted a list of 5 individuals signed by Awami League General Secretary Ubaidul Qadir to the search body on behalf of the party, Abdusubhan told. Earlier on Monday, Awami League Central Working Committee and Advisory Council held an emergency meeting at Ganabhavan in Dhaka. The meeting was called to decide about the search committee's request to send 5 names from each party who participated in the dialogue with the President for constituting the next election commission. Expecting that all the future election will be free and fair, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on Monday said the ruling Awami League wants people to exercise their franchise. We want elections to be free and neutral. We want people to cast their votes, elect the representatives of their choice, she said. The Prime Minister said this is in her introductory speech at the joint emergency meeting of Awami League Advisory Council and Central Working Committee at her official residence Ganabhavan. The meeting was convened to select names as sought by the search committee from the political parties that participated in talks with the President for constituting the next election commission. The High Court on Monday issued a rule asking the government to explain why it should not be directed to formulate a law for constituting the Election Commission. An High Court bench comprising Justice Aminul Islam Chaudhary and Justice J.B.M. Hassan passed the order. After hearing a petition filed by Supreme Court lawyer Advocate Yunus Ali Akant, the Cabinet Secretary, the Law Secretary and the CEC were asked to respond to the rule within 4 weeks, said Advocate Yunus while talking to reporters. Yunus filed the writ petition with the High Court on January 11 seeking its directive to formulate a law as per Article 118 of the Constitution for constituting the Election Commission. Bangladesh will sign a bilateral Hajj agreement with Saudi Arabia on February 1st. A 5-member delegation led by Religious Affairs Minister Principal Motir Rahman is scheduled to leave for Saudi Arabia by a flight of Biman Bangladesh Airlines around 10 p.m. on Monday, said a handout. Dr. Muhammad Saleh bin Tahir Benten, Hajj and Umrah Affairs Minister of Saudi Arabia and Religious Affairs Minister Principal Motir Rahman will sign the agreement on behalf of their respective sides. Besides, the delegation will also sign 5 by 6 separate agreements with different agencies, including Saudi Civil Aviation authorities during their visit. Viewers, will take a short break. Stay with us. We are back in a moment. Now the news on environment, science and technology. A drone that uses retractable feather wings mimicking the natural flight of birds has been designed by researchers in Switzerland. Neither is a drone inspired by birds. Researchers from Switzerland's EPFL have made this drone mimic birds' wings. Stefano Mensev, EPFL researchers, saying conventional drones, since they have a fixed shape, the wings flies very efficiently in specific conditions. So they are designed, for example, to fly when there is high wind or to be very maneuverable, to perform tight turns in cluttered environments, and so these are kind of opposing needs in an airplane. And the main advantage of this design is we can combine both of them in a single platform thanks to the adaptive morphologies of the wing itself. Scientists at the University of Washington in Seattle are experimenting with how the human brain can work in a virtual reality environment using only direct brain stimulation rather than traditional sensory signals via sight, hearing, or touch. This man is controlling a computer game with information sent directly to his brain. No visual, auditory, or other sensory information helps him play. University of Washington researchers are testing direct brain stimulation as a way to tell the mind what to do. Rajesh Rao, professor of computer science and engineering, University of Washington, saying the fundamental questions that we were asking here was, is it possible to send information from artificial sensors or computer created worlds directly into the brain so that the brain can start to understand that information and make use of it to solve a task? Car parks could become lungs of the city. Sucking polluted air out of car parks can lead to significant reductions in the presence of deadly fine particles in the atmosphere, says a Dutch company. It has joined forces with university researchers to stimulate how mobile air purification units could help car parks and municipal buildings act as lungs of the city. Putting air purification systems in underground car parks could greatly reduce the release of deadly fine dust in surrounding areas. So says Dutch firms ENS Technology, whose capture system turns fine dust in the air into harmless coarse dust that won't get in our lungs. Now the news on business. Silicon Valley has lashed out at Trump's immigration curbs, but the sector that could have the most say is manufacturing. Silicon Valley executives have lashed out at President Trump's immigration curbs. The CEOs of Goldman Sachs and Ford joined that chorus on Monday, but the corporate outcry has been mostly faint. Big banks may have the bucks, but the corporate sector that could wield the most clout is manufacturing. The Eurozone economy has kicked off the year robustly, according to data from the Baltic to the Mediterranean as Sonia Lake. It suggested that ECB's massive cash stimulus is working, but also poses questions about what comes next. They had been expecting an increase, but not quite such a big one. Inflation in Germany has reached a 3.5-year high. At 1.9%, it's close to the ECB's target figure of 2%, and in some regions, it's as high as 2.3%. Jasper Lawler, senior market analyst at LCG, saying there's going to be a rising flag for the European Central Bank and its easing policy, which has been supporting growth in the Eurozone. CEO Liliot Blankfein told the employees that Goldman Sachs does not support President Trump's immigration curbs against certain Muslim countries. Wall Street, unlike Silicon Valley, has remained publicly silent about President Trump's immigration curbs against certain Muslim countries. But Goldman Sachs CEO Liliot Blankfein told the employees in a voicemail message that the investment bank opposed the measures. Blankfein said, "This is not a policy we support, and I would note that it has already been challenged in federal court. There is potential for disruption to the firm." Some business academics say banks don't want to protest publicly because they were counting on President Trump to deregulate their industry and don't want to risk offending him. Viewers, now the news on entertainment. Singer John Legend comments on U.S. President Donald Trump's immigration policies while attending the Producers Guild Awards in Beverly Hills in a show overshadowed by politics.
I think in this time where we're seeing a President Trump who's preached a message of hate and fear and division and exclusion, we as content creators and content producers have the power to tell different stories that humanize people all over the world, humanize those who are marginalized, humanize refugees and immigrants.
Miss France Iris Metanier is crowned Miss Universe in the Philippines. The newly crowned Miss Universe Iris Metanier celebrated her victory on Monday after winning the Miss Universe pageant in Manila. The 24-year-old from Paris won the crown in a 3-hour show in the Philippine capital that focused on diversity and overcoming life struggles, besting 85 hopefuls from all over the world. Metanier, who is pursuing a degree in dental surgery, won the 65th edition of the annual competition hosted for the third time by the Philippines. Iranian actress Taraneh Ali-Dosti will not attend the 2017 Academy Awards in protest against Trump's planned Muslim immigration ban. It's an Iranian movie nominated for an Oscar. It's called The Salesman and is up for Best Foreign Language Film at the 89th Academy Awards. But the film star Taraneh Ali-Dosti has said she won't attend the Glitz ceremony in February. In a tweet, the 33-year-old Iranian actress blamed Donald Trump, saying Trump's visa ban for Iranians is racist. Whether this will include a cultural event or not, I won't attend the Academy Awards 2017 in protest. Viewers, now the news on sports. Bangladesh cricket team bowling sensation Mustafizur Rahman and 12th SA Games gold medalist swimmer Mahfuza Khatun Sheila have been named Cool BSPA Player of the Year for 2015 and 2016 respectively. Finance Minister A.M.A. Mohit handed over prizes to the winners as the chief guest at a function organized by Bangladesh Sports Press Association BSPA in a city hotel on Monday. Bangladesh Football Federation President Qazi M. Salahuddin was also present at the function. The Fitch leapfrogged cricketer Mahmudullah Riyad and Soma Sorkar to be adjudged Player of the Year for 2015, while Sheila eliminated the Dashing Tigers opener Tamim Iqbal and hockey player Ashraful Islam to earn honor for the year of 2016. Real Madrid extended their La Liga lead to 4 points and still have a game in hand over their title rivals as Cristiano Ronaldo was on target in 3-0 win over Real Sociedad at the Santiago Bernabeu. Earlier on Sunday, Barcelona were left to rue La Liga's lack of goal line technology as they weren't awarded a clear goal in a controversial 1-1 draw at Real Betis. However, Barca still moved up to second on goal defense as Sevilla were reduced to 10 men after just 2 minutes in 3-1 defeat as Espanyol. Madrid had won only one of their previous 5 games and were dumped out of the Copa del Rey by Celta Vigo in midweek. Ian Morgan has called for cricket's decision review system to be used in 2020 internationals after a final over umpiring errors cost England victory in the second match of their series against India. Needing just 8 to win off the final over in Nagpur on Sunday night, England were stunned by the dismissal of their star batsman Joe Root of the first ball and ultimately fell live runs short of their target. TV replay showed that Root had got a thick inside edge onto his pace, but he had no chance of challenging Indian umpire Sidhodi Samsuddin's decisions, as DRS is only used in Test match and ODI cricket. Viewers, let's have a look Millennium TV News recap. Trump signs order to bar some refugees, signals prioritizing Syrian Christians. Washington state to block Trump immigration order. White House defends Bannon to be part of National Security Council. Duterte threatens to scrap U.S. defense treaty. Jordan's Abdullah visits Pentagon amid Trump's refugee ban. Iraqi family's dream to go to the United States is dashed. Viewers, to get any kinds of news, log in our social media, facebook.com/MillenniumTVUSA and youtube.com/MillenniumTVUSA. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on Millennium TV, and don't forget to log in our website www.millenniumtv.org and www.millenniumtvusa.com. Thank you and stay with Millennium TV. Allah Hafiz.